What's up, party people? I am still in Las Vegas. I got to run out to the salvage yard today, take care of a few things, ship some people out their parts. Man, that is time consuming. And then I got to get back and work on cleaning up Lemonade, getting things taken care of on that car so I get it back on the road. Somebody invited me to some kind of car show. I think it was Alex. I need to check on that, see if that's something I can make it to. However, I'm not done in the Las Vegas area. I got to do a rear main seal, help one or two more people before I move on to California. So let me work on that, and thanks for watching today's video clips. Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. I am back at it about an hour now. I got the driver's side CV axle out. Man, it's hard turning those bolts out without PB Blaster and power tool. Anyway, also got this front mount out. As you can see, the strap comes across, and then you got the bolt and then the holding pin. So that's the one for the front. It's got the number on it. Volvo 6801722. I'm gonna put that in, then start putting this car back together. I got the fan out to get this front engine mount in. For some reason I thought I needed to take those 10 millimeters out of the wire harness. I did not. I could pull that bolt out, drop that mount. But man, I'm looking at this radiator. The way this thing has rust and stuff on it, I would guess this thing is original. Now this mount to the shroud is busted here. Got a bunch of pieces of it right there. Try to put that back. Now I'm ready to put the fan back in, and then I'm gonna do these vacuum hoses and ABS module. I have no idea what it could have been, but something has been rubbing on this transmission hose. Look at that big gouge in that thing. I'm gonna recommend that he get another one of those and replace that before that thing starts leaking. Never seen that before. There's the spark plugs that came out of it. They don't look too bad, like they might have been in there maybe 10,000 miles or so. NGK BKR6Es, almost what the tuners recommend. I installed the bracket for the steering rack. That's the 18 that goes under there, and then I left the bolts there. I installed the anti-sway bar, put that lubrication on it so it don't squeak and make noise. Now I'm gonna put the control arms on, then I'll be ready to get this thing installed. Now these clips are broke that hold these vacuum lines. Not sure what I'm gonna do about that, but maybe we'll get some of those zip tie ones and put on there. Made this subframe heavy. I put the control arms on both sides, put the anti-sway bar in, put that bracket in that goes on the back of that steering rack. To my surprise, since I left the steering rack in the car, I was under there, and I just realized that I could put that bolt in to that mount back of the steering rack, which lifted the steering rack up in place. Probably gonna make this easier to get the subframe in. Now that post there is a guide for the subframe, and that post there is a guide for the subframe. The right side doesn't have those, so you want to get the left side guided up in there and get the steering rack on there. But man, I am probably better off since I was able to get this bolt in there. I hope. We'll see. So I got this thing ready to go up. Even though this subframe's heavy, I should be able to get it in. I might have to pull a tire into here and slide the subframe up on the tire to get it close, and then wiggle it in place and stick a bolt or two in it. So let's see how this goes. See how long it takes me. It's like 3:45 right now. Time to hit the hard part and get this subframe up in here. So let me put it in position, see if I need to put a tire under it, front or back, and lift this thing up and get a bolt started. Moving along pretty good. I'm not sure if I showed you guys that I got those vacuum lines installed. Getting ready to put the radiator in. However, I did get the subframe in, I got the control arms on, got the anti-sway bars on, got the end links attached, got the axles in, getting ready to put the car down and torque those down. So my next step is putting these wheels on, getting this car off the jack stand. Then I got to check that car over there, see if it's got a suspension issue where I need to change the strut on that. I also got this front mount, those bolts in there. I was able to move that around pretty easy. So I'm just trucking along, trying to get this thing done. This one's tight. This needs to be torqued. Man, these bolts, they don't like going on these threads. It's like the thread pitches, just barely off a little bit. So let me get these wheels on, get these cars off the jack stand. Woohoo! We got the Platinum back on the ground, folks. Got to torque those CV axles, torque the wheels, remove this engine cradle from the engine, then start putting together the loose ends. Man, I really would have liked to get this fender replaced, but I don't have a jack stand to do this tomorrow, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do this or not. Anyway, let me go look at the suspension on that, see what's going on there. I think we got a bad strut, probably needs 2 struts, but I have parts to do the passenger side. That's where it seems like most of the shaking and the noise is coming from. I actually got spring seats. I could do both sides of the spring seats if both sides are torn, but I only have one new strut. Spring seat is totally torn out on this side here. Totally torn out. So I got spring seats. I don't know if I can get that nut off though, so I got to try to get that off and pull the strut out. And I'm going to ask him, does he want to replace the strut or just the spring seat? A couple other things I noticed on this car. Clips are missing from these 2 positions of these lower eyebrows. And I thought this battery clip was missing. And it's sitting on top of the light here. So I don't know who pulled that out, but you push the battery over, clip that thing down like that. It's a little worn, but it's there holding the battery. Let me pull this car in here and get this strut out of here. Do 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 do. I never hear people mention this, but bad struts destroy spring seats. One time I put a brand new pair of spring seats on a car that had bad Bilstein struts. 5,000 miles later, those things was tore up. I changed the spring seats again with the struts, good as new. 180,000 miles still going strong. So if you got bad struts, it can destroy your spring seats. Before I forget, there's a nail in this tire. Where's that nail? It's in one of these treads. I'll find it again. There is a nail in this tire. So, need to let the owner know so he can get that pulled and patched. Actually, he needs to get new tires. So, maybe he'll just do that. Well, folks, it is just after 8 p.m. I could not get this strut bolt loose. So I'm done for today. Headed back to drop off some equipment, then to the room. Hopefully I'll be at the room by 9. Call it a night. Today's Q&A is, what is the primary cause of new heater cores leaking? If you got one of these P80 Volvos, they have a connector that a screw goes through to screw the heater core into the pipes that feed the heater core. And the number one reason those things leak is people over tightening them. If you tighten them up too tight, they will start to crush the seal and actually make the seal pop out of the pipe barrel, and then you'll have a leak. So be aware of that. Don't tighten that thing down too tight. Get that thing snug and maybe 1/8 of a turn, and that's it. Most people, they see a leak, they start tightening it more and more. damaging that seal more and more. So if you got a heater core leak and it's a new heater core, you might want to get a couple of new gaskets and then reinstall that thing, and do not over tighten it. Now, somebody also mentioned that they always use the Volvo gaskets. I have never had an issue with different gaskets, but I've always used the Swedish car parts ones, and they appear to be more than adequate to prevent leakage. I've never had one of those leak on me so far. Installed them for 6-7 years. So hope that helps. Have a great day. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.